I have my Premiere cut copied from Premiere into After Effects, and as you can see, there's quite a lot of shots here. It's roughly 55 shots, and they are more complex than your standard cut. For example, here I have a single shot which is divided into 3 shots and time remapped. I have, for example, here 2 shots, one on top of the other, and what I want to do is I want to automatically create compositions from all these takes and make sure that I can later export them and distribute them to other artists. So this is the purpose of Conform script. It's going to precompose all the layers into their separate compositions and name them regarding to the naming scheme here. If you're working on a larger project, then the naming structure is pretty important, and it all starts here. So we made sure that any option that you can think of can be created here and saved as a preset. So for example, I saved here a preset for HP trailer. So there's a prefix, there is the starting number, there's the step. It's going to start at 10 and it's going to add 10 shots, because if something goes wrong or if I have to add shots, I want to have the flexibility of adding, for example, shot 5 or 15, not 1.5. Also, the number of zeros that is required here. And also there's the suffix, which later serves us as artist name and the version. So I can, for example, change it to my name and the version number 00. And then I can save this as a preset. It's going to save it with a name. And as you can see, I have several presets here, and I can freely choose from them. I can remove those which I do not like, and I'll only have the presets which I like. On top of that, I can also import presets and export presets, and these are simple CSV text files, so you can share them between machines, between artists. So we really made sure that it's all interchangeable and easily accessed. If you already have a name somewhere, you can select an item and create a name from this. Of course, I don't want this, so I'm going to revert to the original saved name. So this window gives you a lot of options. On top of that, to each composition, you of course can add handles, because we all want handles. This is what I think Dynamic Link should have by default, and I really miss it a lot. And of course, you can pre-comp the layers in the selected compositions, or you can duplicate the original comp and add the suffix to this. Again, it's called conformed. Sometimes you want to take a look at advanced options, especially if you have timer mapping, because you can enable frame blending for time stretch layers and choose any time blending mode that you need. For example, here I'm going to choose pixel motion because I have quite a lot of shots in here. If you want to inherit the labels, because for example they have meaning, like orange shots are digital matte paintings, and for example red shots have to be recreated from scratch. That might be pretty useful. If you want to group the layers, like these 3 layers, you want this option, group consecutive layers with the same name, turned on, because they will then be placed into their own compositions. Group overlapping layers is also an option if you have layers that overlap, like for example here, these 2 overlap, and you want to group them into their own shot. The overlap margin is a parameter that you don't want to change unless there's something is going seriously wrong. So now I simply click proceed and wait for After Effects to change the shots into their compositions. And voila, all the compositions were created here. All the compositions are now at 100%, and if I take a look at my composition here, you can see that the frame blending was added for the shots that are retimed.